God's blessings, everyone. My name is Bill Brandel. For this video discussion, I chose to research American Methodist. I pulled information for this video from 3 scholarly works, and I found them all to align with Liberty's guidelines that historians must be honest and objective in their research. American Methodism was founded by John Wesley in 1730. Previously, Wesley was an English Anglican priest, and he experienced a life-changing event while sailing to America. While on board the ship with a large group of Moravians, the ship was hit by a bad storm. Wesley was reportedly deathly afraid they were all going to die. While he panicked, the Moravians on board prayed and sang hymns. Wesley saw their deep passion firsthand in a life-defining scenario, and it affirmed for him to reassess the fervor of his own faith. In 1735, Wesley starts the Methodist Church in Georgia, and membership expands only slowly in the immediate vicinity. After nearly a half-century of work, Wesley dies in 1791. Author Abel Stevens, in his The History of Religious Movements in the 18th Century, wrote, quote, "The great work of his life was not to be tested, and the question whether it had inherently vital enough to survive the loss of personal superintendence was to be decided," unquote. C.C. Goss, in his Statistical History of the First Century of American Methodism, wrote, quote, "In 1773, there was a grand total of 10 Methodist preachers in the United States," unquote. In the third book, John Weiger follows up C.C. Goss with his Taking Heaven by Storm, noting, quote, "In 1775, Methodists constituted 2% of all church membership in America. By 1850, however, their share had increased to more than 34%. Today, there's more than 80 million Methodists worldwide, with about 20% being in the United States. What makes Methodist unique? I'll list 4 things that I learned. First, logic and reason in all matters of faith. John Wesley looked to challenge the religious assumptions of the day. He and others met regularly for Bible study and prayer, to receive communion and do acts of charity. They became known as the Holy Club or Methodist because of their methodical way in which they conducted their Christian faith. Second item is evangelism and missions. They do Kingdom Tide for 13 weeks before Advent, where they really focus on charity work. Third, their covenant certification. So what they do the first Sunday usually of the new year, they will recommit their covenant with God. Finally, their inclusiveness. Christ died for all of humanity and not just a limited group. Thus, everyone is entitled to God's love and grace. God did not preordain a certain group. What are their doctrinal standards? Evangelism with a focus on the poor and the downtrodden, and their covenant connection and open communion. The Methodist Church, however, is currently going through a major divide and has experienced a drastic reduction in membership in the past few years. Since 2019, more than 7,000 churches have disassociated over the practice of allowing preachers and church leaders to be LGBTQ+. What are their worship practices and polity? They have open community, they focus charity and good works. Their literally usage of high church and low church. They have tent revivals, they have camp meetings. And their hierarchy is, there's 3 bodies at the top: the General Council, the General Conference, the Council of Bishops, and the Judicial Council. Finally, the Methodists have a proud 2-century history, and I'm glad that I got to learn a little bit more about their faith. I hope that this short recap video also provided you with some added knowledge. Thank you.